Now, before we actually start out with setting up our characters, here's a couple of things that I want you guys to know. Number one, you always need to make sure that your character is facing the positive Z. So, say for example, if I create an object and just press W, you should be able to tell the direction of positive Z by looking at the blue arrow. That is where I want you guys to have your character face. And the reason behind that is once you have that, and let me just make a mark. Say for example, if I just select this and move it out, just make it a little asymmetrical, then you realize that in the front view your character is facing the front, and in the side view your character is pretty much facing the left. That is exactly how you want things to be. So make sure that your character is standing on the grid, and make sure that your character is looking towards the Z, and set your image planes accordingly. Another thing that I want you to quickly learn is how to work on only one side of the character and sort of mirror everything that you're doing on the left onto the right hand side, or the other way around. So it's important that when you're working on a character, you have a line exactly in the center, something like that. You can go ahead and delete one part of the character, so you're pretty much left with only one side. Now let me go ahead and just position this somehow, maybe somewhere over here. Okay, so the trick to working on the left hand side and having everything mirror onto the right hand side are these few steps. You start out by freezing transformation, deleting history, and then resetting transformations by clicking on modify. Okay, now that's fantastic. Once you have your transformations reset, go ahead and click on edit and say duplicate special. Go into the option box and make sure that your geometry type is set to instance and your scale X is set to -1. So your geometry type is set to instance and your scale is set to -1 in the X. That is, this is X, Y, and Z. -1 in the X, and I say duplicate special, and you automatically get this guy right here. Now, this is an instance of what's happening to this guy, which basically means that if I start messing around with this guy, you see how it affects the guy on the right automatically, and it's the other way around too. I can mess with this guy on the right to affect our fellow on the left, which is fantastic. And I can do different things now. I can do things like add an edge and see how that edge is automatically inserted onto the other side as well. I can go ahead and just mess with this one part right here and how everything pretty much transfers over onto the right hand side. Once I'm done with the character, once it looks nice, then you're just going to go ahead and combine these two meshes, and once you combine them, make sure that you're merging these vertices in the center seam, because those vertices are still not merged if you actually look at them. So what you want to do is pretty much just make sure you're merging them, select those two and say merge to the center, merge to the center, press G, 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 G. Now make sure you delete history. And that is how you create an object symmetrically by working only one side of the object.